There is a truth that is very hard to touch because it touches the ego, touches the grievances we have held for so long, touches the stories we have told about ourselves for years. It is this truth may affect you very deeply, but it does not have the right to decide you forever. What decides the rest of your life is often no longer the original event, but the way you continue identifying yourself with that event. In other words, your real suffering lies not only in what happened, but in what you turn it into inside your mind. A person who was once rejected, if they see it only as a painful experience, it will hurt for some time. But if they turn it into the conclusion that they are not worthy of being chosen, that pain will follow them for a very long time. A person who was once poor, if they see it only as a season of lack, they will move through it with many scratches. But if they turn it into the belief that they were born to live, deprived, then their whole life will be lived in a shrinking posture. A person who was once betrayed, if they see it only as a great loss, they will be sad, they will cry, they will lose trust for a while. But if they turn it into the sentence that no one can be trusted, then from that point on, they themselves will build the walls around their heart, and then call that loneliness fate. This is the deep place of suffering. In Buddhist thought, people speak often about suffering. But suffering does not come only from what happens to us. Suffering comes from the way the mind grasps what happens. An event passes through. That is one layer. But the mind keeps remembering, keeps retelling, keeps identifying, keeps clinging. That is the second layer. And it is the second layer that prolongs suffering. Not because life keeps hitting you, but because your mind keeps replaying the blow. There are people who moved through a deprived childhood a very long time ago, but even now, they still live as if they never had any other possibility. Not because opportunity never came, but because inside them, the past is still the only truth. There are people who already left a toxic relationship, but many years later, they still respond to love, like someone still trapped inside it. They doubt. They control, they retreat, they are afraid, not because the present is hurting them, but because they never truly left the past. Their body left, but their mind did not. This is what many people do not realize. We think we suffer because of life, but many times we suffer because our mind refuses to let go of the old version of ourselves, the version that was abandoned, that failed, that was not loved, that was looked down on, that lacked. And once we cling to that version long enough, we do not only remember it, we become it, we speak like it, think like it, choose like it, react like it. And in the end, we think that is our real self. But it is not. It is only a layer of identification, a layer created from the wound. Not your deepest essence. There is a very quiet kind of delusion. It is when people think they are very awake because they remember clearly who hurt them, remember clearly how unfair life was, remember clearly how they were wronged. But that remembering does not make them clearer. It only makes them heavier because they are not using memory to understand. They are using memory to confirm the sentence that I am right to be like this, that my life can only be this way, that I cannot become different. This is not awakening. This is being hypnotized by the past. An awakened person is not someone who forgets everything they have been through, and not someone who pretends they have never been hurt. They remember, but they no longer worship the past as fate. They look back, but they do not continue kneeling before it. They understand that they were affected, but they no longer see that influence as the final truth of who they are. In Buddhist thought, there is another deep truth. Everything is impermanent. Emotions are impermanent. Circumstances are impermanent. People are impermanent. Even the self we cling to so tightly is impermanent. But the irony is, people love to freeze themselves in place. We say, I am a hot-tempered person. I am an unlucky person. I am someone who does not know how to love. I am someone born disadvantaged. I am someone who is always left behind. It sounds like description, but in truth, it is a box. And once we place ourselves inside that box, we begin to live in ways that prove the box is right. That is why some people deeply want to change, and yet always return to the old pattern, not because they lack ability, but because deep inside them, the old image is still being protected. Because real change is not only learning something new, it is also daring to let an old self die, the self that was used to being pitied, used to being excused because of what it went through, used to living in the role of the harmed one, used to seeing everything through the lens of unfairness. And this is the most painful point. Because when you let go of blame, you do not only lose a habit, you lose an old identity. You are no longer the person who gets to say, I am like this because of them. I cannot live because of circumstance. I have not changed because the past was too heavy. From that point on, you must stand alone with a larger truth. That yes, I was affected. But from here on, I still have to choose. And that choosing is not light, because choice means responsibility. And responsibility is always heavier than complaint. Complaint allows us to remain weak, to keep waiting, to stay the same. Responsibility forces us to grow, forces us to face the question, if I keep going like this, who will pay the price? The answer is always me, not the old circumstance, not the one who once hurt me, not society, but me in the present. I will pay for it with years lived in reaction. Pay for it through opportunities I never dared take, through relationships I never dared trust, through an inner life that remains heavy, through seeing dead ends everywhere I look. So awakening is not a beautiful idea. It is a cutting away. Cutting away of the right to blame forever. A cutting away of the comfort of hiding behind the old story. Cutting away of the habit of seeing yourself as a fixed product of circumstance. It hurts very much, because everyone wants a reason to stay the same. But the person who truly grows is the one who dares ask, is this reason still helping me understand myself, or is it only helping me stay unchanged? There is a very quiet wisdom in knowing how to distinguish between cause and destiny. Childhood is a cause, but not destiny. Wound is a cause, but not destiny. Injustice is a cause, but not destiny. Betrayal is a cause, but not destiny. It explains why you became who you are today, but it has no right to write who you will be 10 years from now. Only when you hand it the pen does it become destiny, and that is what many people do without realizing it. They hand the pen to the past, hand the pen to the old hurt, hand the pen to lack, hand the pen to grievance, and then sit and watch life continue being written in the same dark color. But one day, if they are tired enough, hurt enough, weary enough of repeating it, a person begins to realize, I cannot change what happened, but I can. Stop using it to justify the way I keep making myself suffer today. That moment is important. It is not yet healing, but it is the starting point of healing. It is not yet freedom, but it is the moment the door to freedom appears. Because from that point on, you begin to see the boundary again. The boundary between what happened and what you keep doing with it. Between the original pain and the way you keep extending that pain. Between circumstance. And choice. This is the wisdom of a mature person. They do not deny circumstance, but they do not kneel before it either. They do not deny the wound, but they do not turn it into a throne and sit on it forever. They do not deny that they were once a victim, but they do not choose to live forever inside the identity of the victim. Because in the end, a person who truly awakens is not someone untouched by life. It is someone who, after everything, dares say enough. What happened was real. What I suffered was real. But I do not want to keep using it to explain a life that never changes anymore. And maybe that is the deepest turning point. Not when you understand why you suffer, but when you understand, if I keep clinging to that reason forever, how long am I going to keep suffering?